All right, welcome. I just got your messages, but yeah. Before we begin, let me just take care of that for a second. All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm Noah. Uh, you can worry about whoever's to the right of me later on. Uh, I first want to talk about a few things. I was at the game, and as a matter of fact, I believe I gave you guys a little bit of a snippet of what my seats look like. Did I? Did I? Did I? Aha, I did. This was my seat at the game. Not too bad, if I must say. Kind of around like the end zone ish area, the north end zone. There was a wall behind me. That was pretty nice. Not having anyone like walk from behind you and stuff like that. Um, got to take this picture at halftime with the content creator Falcons West. Had to have a quick little chat. So just wanted to give a shout out to him. Might be seeing this later on. And yeah, so let's get on with saying hello to everyone first. We got Mr. Motivator over here. We got Bubba Gump saying the hellos to everyone else. I'm sure there's a few more people in here. So, all right. So my weekend was pretty weird. Um, my Friday night, I had to pick up my rental car. I was then charged for it. Woke up the following Saturday morning, realized that the money that I spent on the car went back to my account. So I was like, okay, wait a minute, something's not right here. But before we go on to that, we got some more people over here. Big Search 559 said, what section? I was in the game as well. I was in 301 first row. 301? I was in like 303. I was in like the 14th row or whatever. So, wow, that was close. Clay Melton, how's it going? Dreddy, how's it going? Sean Nambo, how's it going? But yeah, that was pretty crazy. So if you're just tuning in, this was the seat that I was able to have. I'd recommend that kind of seat again. Last time I was over on the away sideline area, and the sun was in my eye the entire time. I think they ergonomically made that stadium that way because of that. Because, geez, like being on the away side is so annoying. There is nothing to block the sun unless you have your own hat or whatever.
Man, you probably got a better view looking at the sun than watching the game, to be honest.
Exactly. But that's how it goes sometimes. Um, so yeah, I picked up my rental. Everything was fine. The next morning, the charge went back to my account. I was like, wait a minute, something ain't right here. I never got a call or a message from the rental place. I was like, well, that's not like them. Normally if you were to give them like, I don't know, what was it, $560, they're gonna ask for that back if it doesn't come back to them. But never got a call. They closed early. They closed at noon my time. And they didn't open up until after the game was over. So I was like, well, this is kind of awkward. I got a rental car that I technically didn't pay for yet. I don't know how that normally works, if it's normally like that, but this is my first time renting it. So, that was a bit stressful. And then that night before the game, I got a message from my bank saying that my card had been compromised because it was being hacked into from certain places in like Texas and Minnesota. I'm like, okay, whoa. Hold on. This isn't happening. This is not happening right now, just before the game is about to start. So I started going in a panic. It didn't really amount to anything because there was only so much I can do. So I contacted my bank multiple times, trying to get that situation to get settled. Had to freeze my card, so I couldn't use my card at the game. And yeah, it turns out that was going to be pretty crucial for the actual experience there. So I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna just go let my worries take care of itself later on. So Sunday morning, me and my mom, she's a huge 49ers fan. Um, so it was kind of weird for both of us to be like standing side by side to each other all the time. Especially because I got a lot of like negative looks saying like, wait a minute, you don't belong there. And it's fine. When you can become a Falcons fan in public in California, you get pretty thick skinned pretty fast. So I didn't mind it. I just kind of walked around with them. We're trying to get to our parking spots. So after a 2.5 hour drive for us, I turn off the GPS. I start listening and start focusing on the signs that are on the local area because the GPS isn't going to follow with that. I was in like some sort of like special VIP parking, so I was trying to find that. I saw a sign. I said, okay, hey, here's the VIP parking. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna go follow them. They tell me, okay, well, you're in the wrong section. You got to go to the different color. I'm like, again with the color segregation. Okay. Anyways, get to the right parking section, but the way that the ticket is made, it looked like a seat. Like it didn't look like a parking spot. So I'm like, okay, well, I asked the lady, so like, okay, well, hey, is this right? I didn't really get a chance to get that question out. She's already scanning it and telling me to go follow this other person. I'm like, okay, go ahead. So I go ahead, park in where I'm supposed to, allegedly, and then I realized that there was a reserve sign right in front of all these parking spots, and the sign doesn't have my name on it. So I'm like, oh, jeez, did I just take someone's parking spot? I then come to find out that those parking tickets, those parking spots, right? Um, they get resold plenty of times, and they don't bother changing the names of the people that actually have them anymore because of how frequent that it is. So when I got some other family's parking spot, it made me feel less bad, but it still kind of made me like worry. So we get inside the game, kind of wait around a little bit because we got there a little bit earlier than they were letting people in. Um, then I was kind of having some chatter with some other 49ers fans there. Uh, things are going okay. We had to find a spot to eat though, right? So me and my mom we're walking around trying to find a spot to eat. Mind you, she also took out some money from her card too. So we're all cash. And that's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do, apparently, when you go to these stadiums, because everything is cashless payments only. So we have to find some like convert cash to card kiosks now. And we're roaming around these stadiums trying to look for something that we can use in order to eat. So the first one that we find, it's broken. It doesn't work. So we're asking like some other guest services booth, okay, well, hey, where's the next one? Okay, well, you got to roam around the stadium. So we go over there, and we didn't know that it's in like a special reserve spot. So we asked him some security woman trying to get to like a spot in the stadium. She kind of stops us for a second. She's like, "Oh, well, what are you doing here for?" "Oh, we got to get to this kiosk." All right, well, lets us in pretty easily. We get inside this area that has the kiosk in here, right? It looks like a cafeteria. So from the left to right, you have your coffee, your other drinks, you have your burgers, your nachos, you have your pizza, you have your hot dogs. In the center area, there's your pretzels and your candy. Like you have the whole shebang right there, right? As you so that's one side of the room. The other side of the area is like a bunch of seating, right? In between there was the kiosk for you to swap out. Oh, hey, well, here's your card and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, we just converted our cash into a card. Let's go ahead and use it. So we go to, like, my first reaction was like, all right, well, here, this is the first spot for food, so let's just get in these lines. I didn't realize that was like a it was like a special area for like season ticket holders and like VIP area, because there was no lines to pay because all of that food was free for the people that were supposed to be in that section. We weren't technically, but nobody stopped us because we were just having to be there inside and to use the kiosk. No one was really following us. That's why security stopped us at the beginning. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of concerning. I feel like we're gonna get caught here, right? I have that reaction internally. My mom over here has the completely opposite reaction because, well, she's, like I said, she's dressed in 49ers gear and she fits right in, right? It's like a Where's Waldo version 49ers edition of trying to find my mom in a crowd full of other 49ers fans, right? So she's grabbing all sorts of stuff. She's grabbing chicken, she's grabbing pizza, she's grabbing like candy, she's grabbing her coffee, she's grabbing a burger. Like she has everything, right? I'm over here just trying to figure out where to pay. Yeah, turns out we didn't have to. So all of that food was free for us because we were in the wrong spot because we were trying to look for something to just to get some food. Hey, that's your next strategy over there, guys. So that's your way to get free food over there. Just act as if you're going to the kiosk because nobody followed us or stopped us over there. And then just go crazy because where the heck are they going to catch you? Now, it was difficult for me to do that because I was in all Falcons gear, of course. Um, I was going to be really out of place there because I was like one of maybe two total Falcons fans in that entire section. If I were to go ham on all the food over there, yeah, that would have sent off some red flags. So it was great that one of us got to enjoy basically everything that was there for free. On the other hand, though, I never got a drink there because I was too nervous about getting caught, and then all that food that we just grabbed was going to go to waste anyways. So, yeah, I was thirsty the entire time because I never got any drinks. We finally get to our seat, and then play starts, game starts, the kickoff. That was very surprising for me, right? I was going to initially try to record as many plays as possible. And I recorded about a total of 23 of them because where I was sitting was pretty cool for like the all 22, my own version of like the all 22 film review. But there was a few other distractions and also just the amount of duds to actual plays I could use for film. It just wasn't going to work. I had to really preserve my battery for the trip there. So I only got so many plays of the game. And that was the first one that I missed. So I was like, okay, hey, let this be the lesson to record every single play. That was going on in my head right then. And then we start getting down to the one, and then that Cordero Patterson should have been touchdown. I had that recorded, and then I had the recorded of the that ran pass to Kyle Pitts incomplete. That was the fourth down. Was after that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was such a. I have no words for that. I'm running over here rambling on for like 15 minutes, but I got no words for that. Just disgraceful because we were such a good team for the red zone. Like this whole season, we had like similar totals to like Tennessee from last year. As far as like the third down efficiency, the red zone efficiency, the scoring percentage, all that kind of stuff. That was working well for us. Now we were 1 for 5 in this game. And had we just turned those other missing possessions into, I don't know, what, field goals at least, you're looking at a 31-25 score instead of a 31-13. There's a little bit of a difference there. But I understand the aggressiveness of Arthur Smith, and that's what I'm going to get to in a little bit. That's why you see the other face over there on the right of me. But yeah, once halftime was there, got to meet up with the Falcons West over there. Had to quickly hurry back up. Got to catch the other half of the game, whatever that was for, whatever that meant, because I honestly saw some 49ers fans before the game and during the game. Like, a lot of them over here respect Matt Ryan, and that was like I was surprised by. I think because of what happened last time, but every once in a while I would get stopped by a 49ers fan because they were like, "Oh, hey, yeah, man, that Matt Ryan's a bad man." I was like, "All right, cool. Too bad the rest of the fan base doesn't really see it that way, but hey." That lets me know that a lot of those 49er fans, they would easily take Matt Ryan over Jimmy Garoppolo any day. And Jimmy Garoppolo is trying to be praised on social media for like how efficient he's been on the offense. I'm like, but people can pretty easily see right through that and be like, yeah, that doesn't really matter.
That's because Jimmy G has Alex Mack and Trent Williams blocking for him. So
yeah,
also
that has a lot of
Samuel and also George Kittle, but we're not gonna get to that. So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes his job very easy.
He's still a liability on that team, though. There's a reason why they lost that Super Bowl.
There's also a reason why they drafted Trey Lance.
Yeah, he's definitely done. So, it says a lot.
So, yeah, after the game, I was trying to get something to drink because I haven't had anything to drink since like 7:30 in the morning, and now it's like nearly 4:30, like after the game. Yeah, I'm dehydrated at this point. All of the stores, like all of the booths, they immediately shut down. Like all of the like the Pete's coffees and all the other places where you can get a drink from, all the booths immediately closed after the game. Like, I barely had enough time in order to go down to the escalator in order to try to get to like the next place to go. They were already shut down. All the team stores are still open, and that's what my mom had to do because she turned all that cash into a card, and all that money on the card is non-refundable. So you have to use that up like on the first visit. And my mom may or may not have put a little bit too much on that card in order for us to actually like properly spend it on. There was nothing for me to spend it on because our food was already for free. There was no merch for us as a Falcons fan. And now that the game's over, I can't use it even if I wanted to. So I just let my mom just go to town on a shopping spree and let that be that. Get back to the car, try to find like a nearest restaurant. It took ages in order to get out of that area of Santa Clara because there was other like freeway collisions, a bunch of people just not knowing where to go once they leave. The signs to get there and to leave were terrible because you would only see the sign once you were in the right spot. So what's the point of a sign? So I found that really confusing. And yeah, overall, I had to wait until about 9 o'clock at night in order to find something to drink. That was just terrible. Then the rest of the developing story is I got to return the car that following Monday evening. Still nothing from the rental place as asking for payments. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
All
So,
right. So I see some comments right here. Marquise made a very good comment saying that the Atlanta fan base will never appreciate substance. They will always prefer entertainment, which is
right here.
facts. I would 100% say that is so true. So true. Because it's like, what, you want to see the quarterback dance around in the circle when he has no protection and still lose by what? Like what? Tyler Huntley, he lost that game. You guys want to see him just dance around with no protection or something? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
40
it's
yard,
not
a
just
40-yard
that.
run is not going to work every single time. A QB sneak 40-yard run is not going to work every single time. That's the reason why Lamar Jackson is not successful this year. They figured him out. They know who's he going to throw to every single time. They know how he's going to run. And it's the reason why they're struggling. So I don't understand.
Yeah, at that point, that's when like the talent that they have on the team overtakes the rest of their scheme.
Right.
Because their scheme is pretty simple when you
Right.
really think about it. It's just it's basically just throw to Mark Andrews.
Right. They just have a very talented offensive line too. They have like what Ronnie Stans what's his name
Yeah, they have
again?
Ronnie Stanley.
Yeah,
Um,
they have him blocking for him. That's all you need. I mean, shit.
I
That's like
uh,
literally all you need to block for Lamar Jackson. Who we have? We have an aging Jake Matthews. We have a rookie Mayfield who's still struggling. I mean, like all of us wish we can just plug him in. He can be like an all Pro Bowler from day one, but it's not going to happen because he's still a rookie. He's transitioning from right tackle to left guard, I believe. So that's a
yeah.
very big transition. I mean, I played right tackle, and transitioning to guard is a very, very different position to play because you gotta think about who you like. It's just a different blocking scheme and everything. Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah. Let's get into this talk about the Falcons, guys. I know everybody's was frustrated with the 49er game, man. I was definitely frustrated. I couldn't watch it anymore. This dude had the sun in his eye. Talk about his view. I mean, I'd rather look at the sun than watching what the freak was. Hennessy was. Oh my god. That
Well,
game was
there was a few plays where I was actually able to record, and I'm glad that I got them in full. This one right here, I don't know if it's going to play with the sound, but this one right here is the Russell Gage touchdown from my point of view.
That's funny as hell. He said interception.
Oh, flag, come on!
That was funny.
Yeah, that's one example that I had.
Now, but let's talk about that. I mean, like, come on now. Matt Ryan throwing, what was that, a 40-yard bomb to Russell Gage? I mean,
Yeah, like he had a couple of like very deep throws because they kept having one-on-one coverage. You know, you had a deep throw to Kyle Pitts, a deep throw to Olamide Zaccheaus. That was like the fourth longest throw of the week. You know, he had a throw that was longer than Matt Stafford's.
Just a little bit of time in the pocket, just a little bit. Just like 0.millisecond. It's like, how can you throw under that much pressure? You have Bosa coming at you. You have, who did it have? Did it have Buckner? DeForest Buckner?
No, he's on the Colts.
No, that's
Arden Key was someone I heard quite a bit.
Armstead?
Yeah, they had Armstead.
Yeah, they have Armstead. They got,
he was quite a problem.
Ooh, they got, like, their pass rush is awesome. Like, it's with just Bosa himself. And, like, Lindstrom can't just block Bosa, just only Bosa all the time, even though Lindstrom can do
because they play very different positions.
But, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know.
I saw this one stat, or it's like, on Matt Ryan's 35 dropbacks, he was under pressure for 27 of them. That's bad. I don't care who you are.
You can't throw under that. Maybe Mahomes can throw under that. You saw this season when Mahomes was getting pressure every single time. He could not make a throw to save his life too, bro. And Matt Ryan's out there throwing it, and he's not even getting injured. Mahomes got injured. Like, what
Yeah,
the
that
heck?
is ankle injuries.
And a concussion. Matt Ryan's still slinging it. He's still trying. I mean, like, I wish he would have ran it in on that fourth. I wish he would just like fake through it, like try to fake throw it, and then just tuck it in a little bit.
Oh, that was a third down. I think you're referring to this play.
No, the fumble, and then we were on goal, and then we tried to go for it. I think. Then we gave it up.
Right, the first one.
Yeah. David Gruen as old cord, you're gonna have a problems. I think David Gruen doesn't have any weapons to work with. Who does he have? TJ Sharp? He's a 5th rounder. From where is he from? UMass? He is definitely okay. Yeah, if you definitely think TJ Sharp is gonna go out there and do Julio things, then I don't know what the heck you said.
Or even Russell Gage for that matter. Like
Russell
he had to
Gage
step up.
He's a solid
ton.
slot. He's a solid slot. Like he got 1,000-yard being a slot player. That's because, you know what I'm saying, the distraction was going off of Julio. The other distraction was going off of Ridley. You know, and then we had – who do you had at a tight end?
Hayden Hurst.
Hurst. Yeah, we still had Hurst. You know, that's the reason why Gage was able to get these passes. Now he has to fill in 2 big shoes, Ridley and Julio. That's
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We also had the volume of throwing a bunch too,
Yeah.
in Cutter's
You can't
offense.
even throw to them because you can't even throw to them because you just don't have any time. You just don't have time to throw the ball. It sucks. And
I also saw this. You also didn't have any run support either. Cordell Patterson had 18 rushing yards. Matt Ryan led the team in rushing with 20.
Mike Davis, I swear,
that's still more than Najee Harris.
He puts his head down and he just like hopes he can just like tumbles through everybody. It's like, dude, you can't be just doing that shit all the time.
Yeah, this was the week where Matt Ryan had more rushing yards than Najee Harris.
That's crazy.
Like, this guy has to do it all nearly every time.
I mean,
and when you're in an offense that's not sustainable for even a mobile quarterback,
Gage can be decent on 3 decent teams. He could be decent on this team. What you mean, man? Fuck out of here.
So, but yeah, like I think a lot of people can understand how frustrated we are about our attempts in the red zone and whatnot. I think we're starting to see that a lot more about the aggressiveness because of like whatever the analytics has to say about it. But I think overall, sometimes you are overestimating yourself and underestimating yourself at the same time, because when you go for it, you always feel as if, okay, well, we have to go for it because the other team is going to score, right? And you have to keep up with them in order to maintain a lead or at least climb your way back into a game. We got into scoring position more times than the 49ers.
Man, that fumble, and then we should have scored. We should have scored on that first drive.
We technically did, but they called it back.
Yeah, they called it. That was crazy, though. I don't know.
But like, we kept getting in scoring position, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing that you can say. You know, some of these other teams in the league, they, like, once their momentum stops, they don't know how to get back to across the other field. We were still getting there around, like what, 7 times or whatever?
Just not
like converted. The 49ers, they only scored 5 times. 4 touchdowns and a field goal. And when you consider how many times that we got there and all the points that we left off the board, and there was another like fourth down conversion that wasn't technically in the red zone, but we got stopped on another 4th down attempt.
Yeah.
So it's like we could have beat the team had we had a competent red zone offense.
We have blockers. Have people block it, bro. Just block. Just hold the block. Block somebody, Mayfield. You out there blocking goats. You out there you don't even know what he's singing. I'm like,
well, Sam Darnold, he will really appreciate those gloves that Jalen Mayfield's blocking for him.
I just don't like Mayfield. He does just amazing. That's because, I understand he was playing against the Jags. He was playing against the Panthers, but Panthers got Derek Brown, though. That's like a big-ass that's still a big ass defensive
Okay.
tackle.
Well, even if you want to discredit the Jags, right? They had like the third best rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, they do. They have Josh Allen and they have Miles Jack. They were definitely getting to us too, but I think it's just their coaching is just horrible though.
Well, yeah, that was made clear.
Yeah,
Um,
out
but
there,
yeah, like the Bucks had a number one rushing offense or number one rushing defense. They've been posting that down for a while. The Panthers boasted like what top 5 defense in total. And
they
then we
got
kind of felt like, okay, well, we were able to stop Brian Burns,
yes, Derek Brown.
and now we have Nick Bosa coming up. We should know the formula, right? Because in terms of just simply like his acceleration, like their get off, Brian Burns is faster than Nick Bosa.
Man,
But apparently it didn't matter because Nick Bosa had other
no, but Nick
talent
Bosa
to him.
is still way better than Brian Burns.
Yeah, I know that. So it's like, yeah, he's got another skill set, probably because of his brother. You know, like let's be honest. Like Joey Bosa is a very like technical. He's a very technical pass rusher.
A beast. Yeah, he a beast. He a beast.
You know, and now that he can feed off of that, just kind of like the Watt brothers, they feed off of each other in terms of like the information that they've learned and picked up. So yeah, I understand like the disparity between Brian Burns and Nick Bosa, but they're both Pro Bowl players, if you want to think of them that way.
What was your thought on Deion Jones the whole entire game?
Deion was fine. But here's another player that I will point out, though. Here's a player.
But let me let's stay on Deion for a second. Why did you say Deion was fine?
I say that he was fine, given his role, and that was just to play cleanup for all the other spills that were happening from in front of him and behind him. So I'll get to him, but the other guy that I want to point out is, and I didn't realize how terrible he was in this game, but, and I don't normally do this, Duron Harmon was terrible.
Harmon is bad, y'all.
Duron Harmon was absolutely terrible. There was that one like crossing route from Brandon Ayuk. Harmon just like gets up to him, and then they basically say like, "Oh, excuse me." Harmon didn't even attempt a tackle. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I thought it was Eric Harris at first.
Yeah, like I didn't realize how badly we were missing Eric Harris out there because Duron Harmon had no idea what he was doing. And I saw that on like so many of the clips that I found. I probably could show them all, but that they take way too long in order to upload on here. So yeah, if I had learned that, I would have been prepared a little bit more. But yeah,
Deion was bad. Deion Jones was just as bad because I don't know what Deion was doing because he was there, but he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? He looked at it. He looked at the play happening, but he was just like, "Oh, it's happening. I'm not." But like, what should I do? Like, bruh, it was. Oh my god, it was so bad.
Like he's like a day late and a dollar short.
Basically, I was like, "Yo, he's there, but he's not doing anything. Just could have jumped up and tipped the ball or do something." But I don't know if it's because his injury is getting to him though. I don't see him coming back.
Possibly.
Because they were trying to trade him in the beginning of the season. I don't see him coming back. DP is definitely gonna be like, "Yo, I need a new linebacker who's healthy and faster."
Well, I mean, we were just talking about that last week, and I think Michael Walker is gonna be that person to step up.
I hope so. I really hope so. And it's a waiting game with him too. It just sucks.
Yeah, but he is at least in house. Will be his second year under Dean Pease. He'll know the playbook better than anyone else that we could pick up.
That's the thing. If we pick up Foy still too, if we keep Foy.
Yeah.
But there's another linebacker from the Tennessee Titans that I don't know, Jaylen Brown. He played under Dean Pease. Yeah, Jayon Brown. I don't know how to say it, but it's Brown. Jayon.
I think Harold Landry's on a contract here too.
I don't know. We'll see what Terry does because we gotta extend some contract first. They gotta agree to his extensions first.
Right.
Grady gotta be like, yeah, I'll agree to earning, spreading my money out long term. Hold on, I gotta
Whatever
plug.
money we have.
Hold on, I gotta plug my computer.
All right. As you do that, I'm gonna actually get into some of these comments that were here because I kind of ignored y'all. I'm sorry. But let's see. Shonoma says, "Who should the Falcons draft in the first round?" As far as a position,
Best player available.
that's true.
It just
I think
whoever's
depending on where
available.
we lie, I've been
Whoever's
seeing
next.
some mock drafts about like Tyler Linderbaum like going to like the
We can't
Giants.
we can't go wrong with anybody right now. If it was the
That's
best
true. I mean,
receiver, the best lineman, the best. I'm not gonna say quarterback because there's no quarterback that's gonna be better than Matt Ryan right now. I'm telling you that for a fact. Come on
yeah.
now,
I
he's
mean,
MVP.
also that's a bit too much of a price to pay
Right,
for such a gamble at that position and not have a built team for him.
right. He's still gonna be running around doing nothing. So if it's just the best player, it could be anybody, to be honest. But if I were to say, give me an offensive lineman, man. Give me an offensive lineman. I need a center. I need Tyler Linderbaum. I need that guy. I need that guy to come in, call out the blitzes. You know what I'm saying? He know how to pick up double teams and shit. Oh man, I need that guy. Well, I'm
Yeah.
not seeing that Hennessy at all. He's just out there not doing it.
But I've also seen because I've understood that the draft class for pass rushers is like incredibly deep.
Yeah,
I
that's over there.
feel, and I've said this before, like if we double up on pass rushers using our 2 seconds, I think that's what we need. Because honestly, like watching that game in real life, or like in real time and not on the TV, it felt like 11-on-8 on both sides of the ball. It felt like we were missing 3 people on the field every single play.
Given to the history of drafting pass rushers, do you think we should draft pass rushers or should we sign them?
Well,
Do we want to
I think we've
develop a
already
pass
tried.
rusher
We've
again?
tried both pretty often,
It's been
but
half.
every draft class is at least different. And this one's been very highly praised. And given the need versus the money versus how easy it is in order to get that position right now, I'd go with drafting it first. Because the money can check out for us later on. It'll be quite the investment,
I say,
and they're going to be a lot younger too.
I say once we get rid of Deion Jones and who else is a cap issue in our team?
Dante
Not Matt
Fowler.
Ryan because Matt. I say we might even trade Calvin Ridley too. I see the possibility of trading him.
What about Dante Fowler?
He's still under contract too, huh? Oh
Maybe.
man, yeah, he's gone. Dante Fowler gone. Steven Means, you can go too, man. I don't even know why you even on the team in the first place. You are literally the worst rated linebacker in the league right now. Why are you starting?
His backup is rated higher than him. It's
This is
Brandon
crazy.
Copeland.
DBs, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Bro, every time, dude, I saw Tyler Davison like jog onto the field. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be a big run. Oh my god, it's gonna be a big. Sure enough, every single time he was on the field, it was
I'd rather
a
have Alan
gash of a
Bailey
run
back.
from freaking Jeff Wilson.
I'd rather have Alan Bailey back to replace him. Like that's crazy. I also absolutely that guy's trash.
Dude,
Fab,
I'd rather have Tyler Davidson's nameplate on the field than actually him.
but yeah, I don't know. We just gotta what are we talking about again? Yeah, we just in shambles, man. We need the money.
So this whole thing was about Arthur Smith, and
Oh
I was
yeah,
going to try to get along with some of these comments. But they were. Our guys are a bit too flooded at the moment, given how many people have commented. So let's refresh ourselves. Start off with this question, and I have it right here. Early grade, but what has been the Arthur Smith game, right? So far this season, if you want to take a look at what he's done so far for us, what's the game that you point to and it'll be like, yeah, this is why we have him, and this is why I trust him?
Scordell Patterson, baby.
What's the game, though?
Bro, give him the ball. No, I'm just joking. But, he's able to utilize Scordell in many different ways. It's basically like his Derrick Henry, but he's not just bulldozing through his defenders. You know what I'm saying? He's using his speed to his advantage.
I was talking about like maybe your game against the Saints, or maybe maybe the game against. I was talking about what's that Arthur Smith game so far this season that we've seen? I mean, like, hey, let's point to that one and be like, hey, this is what we'll be in the future.
The Jags.
So if people ask about Arthur Smith, that's the game you're going to show them?
Yeah, that's the only one I prize. I don't know. Oh, you go first. I'm going to think on this one.
Yeah, let's see what everyone else has already said. 66 said, yeah, nameplate might do better. Of course it's going to do better. It's obviously going to be better than him. Bridget Kelsey says the Panthers. Michael Walker says the Carolina game in Carolina. Okay. The last D-Claw kitten game. SGG Thomas.
The first half of the
says the Saints.
The first half of the Bucks first game. Just the first half. Because we was actually scoring on motherfuckers.
Well, all the scoring basically happened in the third quarter, though.
No, that was in the first quarter.
I remember when after halftime, we had the kickoff.
It was
held back.
Quarter. Yeah, we was about to come back on that third quarter.
See, the Saints game, I wanted to say that too, right? But that still feels like last year's team. Washington's as well, said my Marquise. That feels like last year's team.
I would say that Saints game was, oh man, when Scordell came through in the clutch at the end with the, you know what I'm saying? I was
right.
Like, yeah.
But then what happened? Almost the exact play after that. Mike Davis nearly cost us that game.
Yeah, he did.
But everything about that though, beforehand though, we were up 24-6, and then it became a 25-24 game. Like, is that the game that you look at and be like, hey, this is Arthur Smith, or this was us, like the old regime, kind of like, hey, let's swap everything out. KJ the Beast also says the Jags.
Maybe the Jets and Jags, because Pitts was going off on that game too. He caught an end zone, in the, you know what I'm saying? Shit. Yeah, the Jets game was actually good too. I said David Gruner is actually doing good as a passing. I mean, not a pass, because he was a passing specialist with the Bears. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like he's doing pretty well as a player.
He changed his mind. Says the Jets. All right. Channel Keys. Hope I said that right. Says we're an okay team, but we don't show up on both sides of the ball every game. That's true.
Defensive.
Okay, so he's saying Washington from an offensive standpoint. That still kind of scares me because we couldn't close out that game. Now, I will say, let's go back to the very end of that game with that defensive, what that should have been the defensive delay of game, where Jonathan Allen was just resting on top of Matt Ryan for like 15 seconds, and no one was able to stop that game and flag them for, hey, you're purposely doing this, so let's stop the clock for you, give you a 5 or whatever kind of yards that it is.
Nah, it was all on Michael Walker. He should have been covering what's his name, and then he let what's his name running into the end zone because he rushed in. He tried to go in for a sack. It was all Michael Walker at the end of the game. He let
I
him.
mean, you can also say T.J. Green because AJ Terrell was out in that game.
Hey, AJ Tyrell had COVID, you know what I'm saying? But TJ Green had some shoes to fill. He
Well,
didn't
T.J.
do
Green,
well.
AJ
He
Terrell,
didn't
he
do
actually went out that game with a concussion from
well. Oh yeah, he
the
did.
Tampa game.
I thought it was COVID.
So then T.J. Green filled in for him on the Giants game, and then that game against Washington. And I still remember that.
I
Meanwhile,
still remember
Terry
Fab was
McLaurin
getting bugged
already caught the pass.
Yeah,
T.J. Green was just still kind of looking up there like, huh,
that's the
that's
reason
tough
why
to
we
see.
got
Man,
rid
it's
of
pretty
him.
cool.
That's the reason why we got rid of him.
Yeah, cut the next day essentially.
Crazy.
He says it's the Saints. Remember that roughing the passer on Foye, the reason why they closed the game. In the Panthers game, they almost played a complete game. Defense played well, offense ran the ball well, and we closed out the game by getting the first down to ice the game.
I said
Yeah,
the
that third and
Jets, man.
13 by
The
Kyle
Jets,
Pitts.
Jets games, we put up a pretty good run game, pretty good game with Kyle Pitts. I mean, like everybody played pretty well. Even Jalen Hawkins got an interception. I remember that. That was hype as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely should have won that Washington game. We still had a chance to win at the very end, though, which was kind of surprising. Like I said, Jonathan Allen sabotaged it for us, though.
Man, I don't know. Heineke throwing that last minute touchdown.
That was just crazy.
Off the back end of his foot and stuff because Dante Fowler can't rush for shit. Dante Fowler gets there, but he doesn't get there. Like he's there, but he doesn't just do like. Oh my god, he's just like a second late every single time, and then he act like he does something because he gets behind the back. No, you're not doing nothing. You're just pushing the quarterback down to the ground after he throws a complete pass because Fab covered.
Xers 559 says we need to get some beef on the O line. Always get smaller guys, and at one point we had the lightest O line in the NFL. That was our 2016 season, believe it or not.
Yeah. Jake Mann.
But we at least had the scheme in order to sync up with what we had on the roster.
Chris Chester, man, he came in clutch. It was finally he came in clutch.
Did we have Ryan Schrader at right tackle at that point too?
Yeah.
Or was he later on?
He was like his second year too. It was like his second year. Or third year.
Honestly, none of these games in this year have been impressive to me, but I'll always take a win. I'm still staying with the Jets. Only bad play that Panthers game was when Allison fumbled the ball with like 5 minutes left in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate Foye and Cordell Patterson didn't get the Pro Bowl. Same with AJ Terrell.
And Matt Ryan.
Well, Matt was going to have a harder time in order to get in. Lindstrom, he could have went in.
Yeah, but he
didn't do it though.
I
didn't realize how many people were spamming.
It's nothing, man. I think the Pro Bowl they should just get rid of the Pro Bowl. Like nobody watches.
Or at least like get rid of the meaning of the accolades. Because one thing that the Pro Bowl stands for was when people in like the Hall of Fame voting, they also check how many Pro Bowls you've earned. So yeah, we may think of it as a popularity contest, but when people compare Pro Bowls
like, man,
that's something that comes up.
You're the best of the best. Like, yeah,
right,
you go into the bowl to play it against the best. Now, like the Pro Bowl is like you're playing against like maybe the second best because the first best is in the Super Bowl or something, or the first best doesn't want to get injured. You know what I'm saying?
And then they have the substitutes, right?
Yeah.
So I remember in 2014, Matt Ryan was a substitute as a quarterback for the Pro Bowl. But I'm bringing that up because we actually had a losing season that year.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get a Pro Bowl votes as like a replacement for a losing season? And you're not even popular to begin with?
Right.
I still don't know how he did that.
Preach.
Marquis says Ryan threw 4 touchdowns in that game and defense blew it as well. From the Washington game, as those prayers Heineke threw was making scary Terry. Harmon and Harris dropped a few interceptions. Of course they did.
Dude, they were dropping them. Man, they were dropping
One where
them.
Gage was catching everything. That was kind of this game sometimes.
Gage was catching everything this game and last game.
Right.
Last game he was catching. I was like, oh, he was actually getting separation. Wow, that's a first.
Channel Key says if there's 3 players in a secondary that shouldn't be in the league, it shows like when we played Dallas and had Harris and CeeDee Lamb and not AJ Tyrell. Yeah, that's just a whole crapshoot.
We don't have Oliver. That's the thing, guys. We're missing Oliver. Even though Oliver broke our hearts last year because, he was getting burnt on 4th and 1 by DK Metcalf. You know what I'm saying? We didn't give him a chance, but this year he actually stepped it up. And we said, I said sorry to Oliver. I said, hey, man, I'm sorry for being such a jerk. You were actually a great player. And then he ends up, you know what I'm saying,
I'm still really hoping that was like a sign of things to come instead of like just like a 3-game spurt, because that happens too.
Oliver was killing it though, man. He had the speed, the size to be in. Like he was there, like he was getting to the play, and like it was just like, oh man. Now we have Herman and Harris trying to fill in those shoes, and it's not working.
KJ the Beast says there's no way Lattimore and Slay should have gotten in before AJ. I agree with Lattimore, but Slay, honestly, he's actually had a really good season. I can get the appeal for Slay.
Slay was in? Slay got in? Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Who?
It's honestly not that bad, though. Like, he's actually had a pretty good season.
Yeah, he did. He did awesome against Calvin Ridley. It was the first game we played against him.
Arizona 1 says, should our main focus next year's draft be offense or defense, hoping the scouting department gets it right? It's a completely new thing from the last previous years, so yeah, you better believe that they really can't get it any much worse than last times. But
I say you go offense.
I mean, do you just want to focus it on one side only, though? Or do you want to just kind of like distribute it around?
No,
we have enough picks in order to do that.
Of course, you're going to distribute it around. I'm saying you're going to have to start off offense first, though. No, because I don't know. Do we have the players to develop on defense to not have to worry about, getting new players in? I don't know.
Because when I think about our defense right now, like obviously our biggest issue is the defensive line. Because Grady is by far the person I feel the most bad for there.
We don't have a nose tackle. A true nose tackle.
We also have nobody on the edge.
No, not at all. Why is Mean starting? Why? That should be the question every single time Pease comes to the podium. Why do you have Mean starting? He doesn't do anything. Why do you have him starting? Oh, my God.
Like, we've seen development from Brandon Copeland. We've seen development from Ogundeji. We've seen Bullard, Jonathan Bullard do well there. We've seen James Waters do well there. We've seen, Michael Walker do well there. We've seen so many other people on this team. Heck, even Grady played on the outside at some points. So it's like we've seen everyone else do so much better than Steven Means. And guess who keeps hitting the starts?
I don't know what Means does to start.
We've seen John Kaminsky. John Kaminsky, the ghost himself on our defensive line roster. He stepped in and had some great spurts. I'm like, what is the problem then? When literally anybody, and I mean people we can forget about, like Deidrin Sanat could have had a better career stat line so far at his position.
We can bring back Vic Beasley, and he'll have a better time pressuring the quarterback than fucking Steven Means.
We can bring back
We could bring back Ray Edwards.
Malachi
Ray
Goodman
Edwards
or
is walking
something
around.
like.
We could bring back Ray Edwards. Ray Edwards do a better job than scheming means.
My
Oh, I hope
goodness,
Means is not
man.
the locker room mascot, man. He don't even look the part. But I say if we're gonna build, I mean, like just the best player available for pass rush in the draft. Like I hope it's Dibs. I hope it's Hutchinson. I don't know. Shoot, I hope so. But who else is better than Dibs and Hutchinson? I mean, who's next in line?
Well, is it a good thing or a bad thing that it might be like a 5-way tie?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a good thing though.
I mean, yeah, like a 5-way tie for second place. Like that's
Oh,
not that bad, And then like a 6-way tie for third place.
right. There's a lot of pass rusher in this draft we could definitely get. Just depends on what we do in free agency.
But
Leo,
yeah, we better not see these people that we
I like
have right now.
Leo's definitely. I'll take Leo. He has a Cam Jordan likeness to him.
How many sacks have our
like
defensive line got?
3, maybe 3. Let me look that up real quick.
Maybe like 13. That's my sympathy vote.
I'm gonna look that up right now. We have 16.
16. Wow.
We have 16 sacks. Dante Fowler is leading with 4.4 and a half. 4.5 sacks, guys.
Dude, that's Deion Jones from last year.
How did Fowler even get 4.5 sacks? So that's crazy.
Deion Jones led the team last year with 4.5 sacks.
Jacob. Jacob. The guy we released.
God.
The guy we released.
Is he still like second on the team in sacks?
He's third. He's third. He's tied he's tied with Foy and Deion.
What was the week that we let go of him?
I think it was week 3. I think it's because he was injured all the time. I don't know. I think he was just injured. That's the reason why he let go of him.
My goodness.
Yeah, Fowler has 4.5. That's a third round. That's first round, third pick right there, man. That's a first rounder putting up some numbers like that. Just like Vic Beasley. What happens? They come here and they pass rusher careers die here in Atlanta.
Yeah, ever since that whole tandem with him and Freeney.
Man, Freeney
There's been nothing since John Abraham.
Freeney was that's the type we need in the locker. That like Dwight Freeney. Bringing Dwight Freeney was the greatest thing that happened to the Falcons because he brought leadership, he brought experience, he brought the intensity. He was like, yo, man, we can definitely win the Super Bowl because he's a Super Bowl champ too. He tasted it before, like, God. And then it's just like, oh my God, we can't find that player again. Herman's not that player. Definitely not. Even though he's a Super Bowl champ, but man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what is up with him. I think that like that 1 year in Detroit just kind of ruined him.
Under what's his name?
Patricia, yeah.
Patricia.
So speaking of other coaches, let's get into this section where it's like our first year grade for both our head coach, our offensive coordinator, and our defensive coordinator. So I want to start off with the head coach because there's a couple of other factors that you want to bring into this discussion when referring to him. One thing that we can say about Arthur Smith is that we were the first team to get fully vaccinated, and because of that, we're like one of the very few teams that hasn't had like that strike of just like a bunch of players, like these 15 to 20 players that we're seeing everyone else so far. We haven't really had that happen to us. We've also been one of the least injured teams too. Obviously, like we had a huge blow in terms of like Isaiah Oliver, and a few other spots. But apart from that, everyone that we needed in order to win this game and in order to win these games have been physically healthy.
So
Mentally, sometimes, well,
everybody's been healthy except for Oliver and maybe Ridley if we want to count mental health.
which yeah, we'll do it just for the sake of health concerns. That technically is underneath it.
Tyrell gave us a little bit of scare here and there, but he's still hanging in there. Still hanging in
Yeah,
there.
learned how to tackle without using his head,
Yeah.
so that's good. I wish Debo can do that with his shoulder, or with everyone else on their arms, just arms only.
Also, Brian Young was not the coach. Brian Cox was. That was crazy. I found that out. Brian Cox was the coach, D-line coach, when we had that Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
And then we let him go for Brian Young. But yeah, let's get back to the rating. Yeah.
There was a couple of other, like when you take a look at the comparisons, right? When you compare the other first-year head coaches, like Staley from the Chargers, you have Sirianni from the Eagles, you have Dan Campbell for the Lions.
Yeah.
I think you've seen some improvements from all of those coaches so far.
I think they just love Dan Campbell's that locker room guy they love. He just wins them over with his leadership. Stanley I think he's just a smart ass. He's just a smart coach, man.
He's very deep into analytics, and that's kind of what gets them into some murky situations, just like with Baltimore.
Joe Lombardi sucks. Joe Lombardi can't run that offense at all. But Stanley, what he's doing with that defense, and Joey Bosa, yeah. What's how you say his name? Robert Saleh?
Saleh?
Saleh.
For the Jets?
He's been under drama the whole entire time because he doesn't know if he wants to start Zach Wilson. Basically, they traded everything for Zach Wilson. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they don't even know they want to start him now. So, you know what I'm saying? He's under some other shit.
Yeah, you have a hard time figuring out that one.
What about Urban Myers?
Oh, yeah. By far the best coach, right?
Yeah, I'll say, bro, man. If you need a kicker, just know.
Yeah, there's the kicker.
There you go. But, no, for real, but I think overall, like, if I were to rank who's on the new coaches, I would say it would be like neck and neck with Stanley and Smith. Like they up there, and then you got maybe Sirianni, because he's still doing it. Like Jalen, I'm watching the Eagles game. Jalen Hurts is still doing what he do. He tore up that the Ants pretty bad. And that was crazy to watch.
Yeah, that's something that Tom Brady can't even do.
And like I would say like maybe he's third, and then it goes Robert and Dan Campbell because of his losing record.
You know what though? I take Campbell over Robert Saleh. Okay. I might take Campbell over Sirianni too.
I'll take Campbell. Yeah, I'll take him too, just because of his locker room presence though.
But here's the other thing too. With the Lions locker room, they understand that they're going to be in it for the long haul, right? Like he's got to think long term about his players. And what's important right now, when you think long term, when you're trying to rebuild a team, instead of being like Sirianni or Staley and just trying to retool a team in order to get back up in the playoff contention, because when you take a look at the rosters, right? The Chargers roster, they were fine. The Eagles roster, they were fine. They just weren't being coached well. As long as you just get someone competent in order to take care of those problems, you're good there. With Dan Campbell, you have to really set the tone with the culture first.
Yeah.
Especially that's what has other people, and that's what makes other people buy into that, right? We've had quite a few people walk away from that locker room because they didn't believe, right? And they didn't believe in the long-term process. When you have a process that works, there's a higher chance that the results are going to be what you want. So they are going through that process, and everyone in that locker room, everyone in that organization knows that, and they're prepared for it. They have to build their identity first, and that's what they've done. And when I look at the Dan Campbell game, if you will, this last game is the Dan Campbell game. The fact that we really can't pick out the Arthur Smith game, that kind of shows that, yeah, we've been middling around with some of the other, like the lower tier and then the upper tier guys. We can't really find ourselves different from either one, but we know that when we face a good team, we get out talented, if that's a word. It's probably not going to be a word, but I'm going to use it for just the sake of I'm going on a rant, okay?
Yeah.
The Lions have had so many problems with their roster, and they still destroyed the Cardinals. It wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't. They was shredding them.
Like, when you are a one-win team and you're over here destroying a 10-win team, that's literally never happened before.
And they got Buda Baker. They got Buda.
They got Buda. They got Chandler. They got Isaiah Simmons and Zayvon Collins and J.J. Watt. They got Murphy at their corner.
Oh, I wouldn't give Arthur Smith a D, though. Come on now.
So I think that we have to think about it in the same lights as a Dan Campbell instead of a Brandon Staley, because their method of how they go about their coaching is different, right? So we're kind of in the Dan Campbell, hey, let's think long term because we got to get ourselves out of this hole. When you think about what we've done so far, when you say that we've improved our win total, but our point differential is terrible, I can understand that. But that can still be changed, right? When you have the right people in place, just from not just a physical, but from a mental standpoint, getting everyone in sync, that's what we've done. We kind of shown that first. We're in the right mindset. We know how to get ourselves prepared. We know how to separate ourselves from like the bad teams, but we're not there yet with the good ones. We're getting close. As much as you want to say that we've been blown out by the 49ers, we've had more chances to score than they did.
Yeah.
We just didn't punch it in. And even if we just kick field goals, like I said, that's a one-score game. So that is against a playoff contending team that is also trying to make their stance as to what type of season they're trying to have. They've obviously been together for a lot longer period of time with the chemistry that they've built up there. And it showed, right? Physically on the field, it showed. Everyone was dialed in. They don't have like the best names all across the board, but they played well as a unit. And that's what we need to do. We need to figure out how to just play well as a unit before we start thinking about like, okay, well let's get the next big name guy over here. We've shown on both sides of the ball, we can create a big name when we didn't really expect it to. On the offense, that was Cordero Patterson. On the defense, that was Isaiah Oliver until he got hurt. Like, those weren't big names, but they felt really big to us. And now we get to see how hard it is in order for us to try to lose them if they go to free agency. How tough it is going to be to try to replace them, right? I take a look at the identity of this team. It's based on versatility. It's not necessarily based off of, how smart you are in analytics and how tough and emotional you're trying to be with your wins, but it's just how moldable can you be for the coaches, right? Whoever fits in the draft class that we're going to get, they have to have that identity on them. They have to be able to be versatile. They have to be malleable to the roster because those are the guys that are excelling right now. The guys that can play more than one role on the team. Our offensive linemen, some of them are playing out of position. Our defensive linemen, they're definitely playing out of position, and it shows. Our linebackers had to switch positions. Our corners are now playing, in multiple sections. They're playing safeties.
Whole different.
Our running backs are playing wide receiver, and our tight ends are lining up. And our fullbacks are our tight ends. Like, this is what our identity is.
We're not used to this change. We're used to seeing Julio catching bombs every single day. I mean, every Sunday. Now we have to transition to watching Scordell get his every Sunday now. So it's a big change. It's a big change for us and a big change in the culture for sure.
But I think that we've already done that though. We've made that change. It's not like
No,
physically evident, like when you can't really point at a camera and be like, yeah, this is the culture change. It's trying to be more on the field than off of it.
I think
The Lions have definitely made an off the field
more in
kind
the
of culture
locker
change.
than it is showing on the field, outside on the field with the fans. 'Cause I don't know. Are we going to show up for that game on Sunday? Because if there's more Lion fans than Falcon fans, then I don't know.
Yeah, I find it interesting that Arthur Smith was quoted as saying like, "Oh, hey, I love the passion of the fan base. Well, we need to reward them with a win." I'm like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking about?
Right.
Like we're the what KSL says, we're the 6%ers. We ain't the whole. We ain't even the half. We ain't even the quarter.
So what would you say? What would you give Arthur Smith grade?
So knowing that, like I said, we've been healthy across the board. We've had to deal with a lot of changes. We understand what the identity of the team is moving forward.
Are you going to also
We've been implementing that.
Are you also going to factor in the game that we scored absolutely nothing with the Patriots and also the Dallas game? Are you going to factor those games in?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I'm going to include the Dallas game as well. Because what that tells me is we're missing a piece on the team.
Yeah, we're missing we're missing more than a piece. We're missing
obviously, yeah, but like what I mean by that is when our momentum gets stopped at any point in the game, it's evident that we can't get it back.
That's because he's getting sacked every single time. Like there's no protection for Matt Ryan.
Well, even when that isn't the case, like our Tampa game at home, that Russell Gage fumble, we had all the momentum going into the half.
Yeah.
And then we lost it. We never got it back. You know, and the very week one,
also,
right?
The pass rush was getting to us too as well. They was overwhelming.
Well, of course, like that's going to play a factor, but that played a factor when we won too. So I can't necessarily say that, oh, it's just the pass rush as to why we lost. So, like I said, week one, that game was at like 15-6 at halftime.
Yeah.
Like that was a very winnable game. Like the only reason as to why it looked so bad when it's like 32-6, they scored 10 points because they ran up the score. Like 5 minutes left to go.
Smith was trying to do something with Felipe Frank he was trying to do some special packages way too early and stuff. It was just like I get what Smith's trying to do. He's trying to, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to be conservative.
He definitely really treated it as like it was a free game.
Yeah, he was like, no,
obviously we didn't know the future implications of that type of game because now they have the tiebreaker over us if we were to ever have the same record. Mm-hmm. But knowing that we're in playoff contentions and like we have like 7% of a chance in order to get to it, knowing that we have to beat the Bills, the Lions, and the Aints in order to try to compete, in order to get like what would be a best case scenario 9-8 record. Getting that is respectable. But what we need to do is finalize our identity of our team. Our identity of our team has been running. It has been trying to close out these games. And it's been playing more defensive minded as far as like, hey, let's not focus so much about, hey, winning these one-on-one matchups. It's more about the defensive scheme beating the offensive scheme. Yeah, once that works, it doesn't matter who we have to go up against because we can confuse the quarterback and we can get in better positions in the run support.
Because pieces like y'all ain't getting to the quarterback, so we just gonna have to beat them another way.
Right. We blitzed them all the time against Philly. Did not work, so we had to give up on it fast. And then we had to sort out our coverages when it comes to facing Tampa Bay, in week 2. But we got together week 3. We got our situation sorted out in week 3. Then
Yeah.
we had the Washington game where, our offense was clicking,
Yeah,
but
it
then it
was.
also stalled in some points too. So we got to work
Also
on finishing that.
defense.
Okay,
It was
so,
also defense too.
giving up 34 points is definitely not a good look for us either.
Yeah, it's an
Neither is giving
undrafted
up
rookie.
43 due to some crazy circumstances in Dallas, or allowing what was 16-0 in New England,
Oh, yeah.
but because of the other picks late in the game, they ended up looking 25-0. So yeah, we gave them extra points.
But you can't blame Matt Ryan on that game though. Like, you can't blame Arthur Smith either on that game too. Because you couldn't even do a game plan when your offensive line is getting pushed further back than LeBron James' hairline. Come on now. Did you guys watch Hennessy? We try to do 4th and 1. We tried it so many times. 4th and 1. We know they know it. They already know. Like the other team, they know it, bro. Every time it's 4th and 1, they say they see us going for it. They know they got to push Hennessy back. As long as they push Hennessy back, we ain't getting shit. And Hennessy always getting pushed back, man. I swear to God. And it's like we want to go on 4th and 1, but we can't anymore because it's like no point because then we're doing it for nothing, and it sucks, So I wouldn't just blame everything on that game on Smith or Ryan. I blame every game on the offensive line. I don't care how good they played. Even if he won, I'm still blaming the offensive line because they're so bad. Like I don't know, they're not worse. I feel like they're worse than the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. That's saying a lot. Yeah. Hennessy is terrible. Don't drink
Well, yeah, I
Hennessy.
mean, especially when you look at like how many hits Matt Ryan's been taking, it's by
Yeah.
far and away the most in the NFL.
And how many times is the offensive line helping him get back up? None. I don't think so.
Ugh.
I'm not seeing that.
They just kind of like fix up their shoulder pads and just walk back to
I
the
see
huddle.
Mayfield just waddling back, just looking confused and scared.
Meanwhile,
And Matt Ryan's up there. Yeah.
jeez.
Can you guys just give me like 2 more seconds? What the freak, Like, God.
Yeah. Anytime where you have this be the look of your quarterback that isn't mobile, by the way.
Yeah.
And mind you, what he's looking at is 3 more 49ers ready to just destroy him.
Is that the one where he threw it on the ground when he was trying to give it to Mike Davis?
No, I think that's the one where he just like tried to run it himself and it got stopped by Jaquiski Tart.
Yeah.
He got like pushed
Matt
back.
Ryan is trying, man. He want to do it. He's not a mobile
That
quarterback.
was
He's
the
a
play.
pocket passer. Like, I don't know. Like, he's not going to change his game up, instantly in that one moment. But he tried it, but damn, it's crazy.
This was the play where I was like,
I wonder who's that on the
he
ground.
genuinely seems to be the only person that
right
wants
there?
to win now.
Who's that on the ground? I'm gonna say that's Mayfield on the ground right now. On the way in the back, you see it? That's Mayfield in the back right there. He's just laying flat on the ground on his back. You guys see that?
It's either Mayfield. Well, I don't know. I don't think Mayfield wears elbow pads. I think that might be Matthews actually.
Oh my God, Jake Matthews. Oh my God, that is crazy, man. We need. I don't know. Matthew was playing. Matthew, I hope he still has it. I hope he still has it, or at least plays out until his contract is over.
Yeah, I mean he's in a good family when it comes to like blocking and whatnot and longevity.
Yeah, it's not bad, but that game he had to do a lot because Mayfield wasn't doing anything. But yeah. What would you say your grade is for Arthur Smith?
So before I get into that, I do want to talk about some of the weaknesses that I see.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that we see is his predictability. I mentioned a couple of times he I always I was able to predict the type of play it was, and I'm watching it from way back here with no game plan in mind.
But how can you
Even I
do?
know that he runs the ball on 1st and 10 or on first down like 80% of the time.
But how can you do like a lot when you have little though? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I see what you're saying. He does have predictable.
Um,
He
Lions made it
do.
work.
Yeah, he do be having predictable play. You said what?
Ravens are
Lions.
making it work, and they have a depleted offense right now.
Lions has swell blocking for him. Stop it.
Oh, Taylor Decker. Frank Ragnow, their center. He's also done for the year, though, with an injury.
Yeah, but anything is better than Hennessy, to be honest.
I'm I'm just saying, like, heck, even the Texans have scored. Like,
Even the Texans practice squad center is better than Hennessy, I bet.
I am better than Matt. Yes.
Yeah, we'll sign you. Shoot, go put on some fans this Sunday. Go against the Lions. We need you on 4th and 1. Shoot.
So, I
I don't
mean, you
see
better
why you
believe I
can't
had the
say,
mentality that, hey, my job is on the line.
yeah. I mean, come on now. I literally seen that the Patriots when we were trying to go against 4th and 1. Hennessy
And then
was
you
the
saw Matt Hennessy have a 7-step drop back like he was the quarterback.
He was the only one getting pushed back. And it was just crazy. I was like, no freaking way. This is the reason why we can't go on 4-1. I heard a rumor Matt Ryan for Derek Carr is true. That is not true. You have been misled. I'm sorry. You can come back. Come back to Matt Ryan. He will welcome you with open arms. Come
So,
back.
yeah, when it comes to his predictability, I find that to be concerning at times
Yeah.
because it just gets so obvious about what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll work, though, but that's only because he had to do it through trial and error.
And
There's a
also
lot of these
because
games where I'm like, oh my God, dude, you're doing this again? You're doing the same play again and again and again on first down. I'm like, that just got annoying for me just to keep seeing that because you better believe the defense understands that too.
But how can you throw it when you have TJ Sharp as your starting wide receiver? No, come on.
You're just gonna have to try at that point. Like, I
They
just want you
tried
to
so many
try.
times, and they ran into each other at one point.
But as long as you keep trying to look different, give your opponent just different looks. Make it so that I don't know what play is happening. That's all you have to do. About the rest of the play, sure. The result is going to be pretty much the same, right? But when it comes to the pre-snap adjustments and the pre-snap looks that you're giving to your opponents, they can't be so obvious to the point where they're calling out your plays before you're even saying them.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I'll mention is his journey to his aggressiveness and sometimes his lack of aggressiveness. Sometimes you got to see that a sense of, well, he's playing desperate and he's predictable and he's trying to play aggressive while being predictable. Like, that's not a good tandem to have. When you're going for it on fourth down and then when you're going for it on 4th and goal, but you don't have a good proper play for that scenario, I'm sorry, but now the decision becomes bad. That whole decision becomes questionable for me. Like, when you can't make your 1st and 10, all right, we'll just set ourselves up on this drive, see what kind of looks that they give us. You have your scripted plays in the beginning of the game. Try to see and try to feed off of the information that your opponent's giving you there. And then from there, you can kind of make your tweaks and adjustments as the game progresses. That's generally that's typically what happens. Now I'm seeing that we're still trying to run the same couple of plays when it didn't work the first time, it didn't work the 10th time, it didn't work the 35th time. What makes you think it's going to work like now that you've tried it 100 times?
because
And now you're doing it in a
got
position
we
where
don't got
if you
any other
don't get it, then you're gonna lose.
we don't got any other game plan to rely on if we can't block. It starts in the trenches, man. I'm telling you, it starts in the trenches, I guess. Because if you can't block, how you gonna get your playoff? Like, come on now, like you can't even run a yard. If your center's getting pushed back, can't even throw. I mean, like, because Mayfield can't even. His pass protection is horrible. His run blocking is okay, but that pass protection is just, man. Especially with McGarry too. Oh, McGarry, he has to go. McGarry has to go too. But yeah,
So those
his
two
game,
weaknesses for me.
yeah, his game is predictable. I see it for sure. It's definitely predictable because I'd be like, oh, he's gonna run it. He ran it, but I couldn't tell like which side he's gonna run it to too. Like it's obvious because when he motions it, I'm like, okay, it's gonna go to that side, and it's gonna go to the side where it's the weak side, and it's like not gonna go anywhere. So it's like, fuck, he just wasted a play. What the fuck? So yeah,
Yeah, right.
that's a point off for you, Smith. Boom, there you go. Also, his beard. Boom, that's a point off. You need to shave that, Arthur Smith. I'm just joking. You can do whatever you want. Just win us a game, bruh. Just win us games, man. Take us to the Super Bowl, man. I'm ready to get drunk again and be happy. That was a fun time. God. But yeah,
But given the fact that I want to grade it as a long-term process instead of like a year one, here's your expectation, go ahead and be the savior of the franchise. He can't do that yet because of what you said. We just simply don't have the roster for it.
we don't have the roster, guys. We don't
But
have the roster.
when
We're
we
playing
think
with rental
about,
players.
but
We're
when we
playing
think
with
about,
blockbuster players. I'm just joking.
but when we think about what we're trying to set up for, like what is the mold that we're trying to create, we have to get that established, and I think that's what we're doing. Now we see that, hey, what we want to run, we can't do it because this person, this person, this person is hindering us. All right, so next year we get our guys, second year of, getting our guys, transforming the roster to become what he wants it to be. That's when I'll give a full grade, when he has his own people to work with, because he's going to have quite a bit to replace. Let's face it, we have like 20 plus people that aren't on contracts once this year ends. We have as many people getting paid in dead cap money as Matt Ryan's making right now this year.
Facts.
That's a problem. That shouldn't be the case moving on in the future.
Trufant's still getting paid.
Jamon Brown and James Carpenter, they're still getting paid.
Freaking who else?
There's a long list. A long list.
Freaking Alan Bailey. Tack McKinley probably too.
Yeah, I find it weird that he might be getting paid more than Cordero Patterson.
See, just because he's a first-round bust over T.J. Watt, ain't so that something?
Yeah, when I take a look at the final grade of it, it's gonna be incomplete. But what I see, like his short-term thing, I might have to give him a C. I might have to give him a C, maybe a C minus, something like that. His short term gets that. His long term, though, which I think that he's actually going for, I say B plus, dang near A minus. I think that 1 year, heck, 2 years from now, those 2 seasons, like the next 2 seasons, that's going to be Arthur Smith.
That's fair.
He doesn't have the roster to just completely jump into like what Matt LaFleur did when he left Tennessee to go for Green Bay. That roster was already kind of set. He just needed to.
Tennessee Titans had Ben Jones, Taylor Lunan, Jack Conklin. They also
Roger
had
Saffold.
yeah. Oh my God, bro, come on now. Their offensive line could do. Derrick Henry was having a field day. It wasn't until like maybe Arthur Smith's second year is when he reached his 2K season. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And
They
then,
Tennessee had
we saw the resurgence of Ryan Tannehill underneath
yo.
Arthur Smith
That's
there.
what Arthur Smith does. He brings out that little pad. He said, Cordell Patterson. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna resurge you right now, and then Cordell's becoming one of that. Man, I hope we sign him 10 years, $205 million. I'm just joking.
Yeah, give him all of the money.
Just
Give
key to the city, all
much
that.
money.
You know, you get your own Zaxby's and everything, Waffle House and all that.
Yeah, make him own all the restaurants and all the car dealerships that he desires.
Yes,
Whatever he
Scordell.
wants, just give it to him.
Scordell. But yeah, that's a fair grade though. That's definitely a fair grade because short term, what he's working with is definitely like a C plus, C, like in the C range. I wouldn't say D because you know what I'm saying most of the blame is on the offensive
No,
line.
I wouldn't say D either because we have separated ourselves from among the worst of the worst.
I mean, it's
We've been able to take care of those
still.
teams.
It's 6-8. It's better than 4-11. It's you know what I'm saying.
Right.
We're still 6-8. That's 6 wins. I mean, granted that you know what I'm saying them 6 wins were not easy to get. You know what I'm
But
saying.
hey, though, if we flip over to the AFC, we would still technically be in contention over there too.
Right, we'll still be in there. You know what I'm saying. We won't have to worry about the Bills, basically, and the Patriots, maybe. But that's it.
Well, I mean, we still technically have to worry about the Bills, but
Yeah, we still do. But no, but if like I said, 6 wins is better than 4 wins. And what you know what I'm saying, Dan Quinn interim head coach Raheem Morris was able to do. What was Dan Quinn first year? 4-11, right?
the first year was 2015. We went 8-8
8-8.
after a 5-0 start.
There you go.
So we definitely fizzled out there. And then the season after that, look what happened.
Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl.
And even this season after that, once everyone thought that we were just going to have our Super Bowl hangover, got in the divisional round, and we're one play away from beating the Eagles. And had we beat the Eagles, we understood that the Vikings didn't show up to the championship game. We could have been right back in the Super Bowl there too.
Bro, we would have beat the Vikings twice to go to the Super Bowl. What? Then we had to beat the Vikings again, the 2016 to go to the Super Bowl, right?
No, we had to beat the Seahawks and the Packers.
Was it the Packers? I thought it was the Vikings too. No, it wasn't the Vikings.
Well, that would have been the '98 season.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. But was it?
If you're talking about 2016, our divisional game was against the Seahawks, and our championship game was against the Packers.
Okay. Yeah.
Last game in the Georgia Dome.
There you go. Second year, we just gotta wait another year, guys, because I don't know. This year we're playing with rental players, man. I mean, like, come on, Fab. I mean, we do make it. We do make it. And Arthur Smith, hands down, is gonna become one of the greatest coaches of all time. And that's crazy. Because I mean, like, the Giants did it too. They were able to win as an underdog. You know? The Packers were able to win as an underdog, you know. So, I would say I would give Arthur Smith a C. And long term, I see him as a B plus, given what I'm seeing right now. What would you say about Ragoon, though?
Yeah, so let's head over to Dave Ragone. Now, I've tried listening to his press conferences every week, to try to get a feel for like what his mindset is and how much of an impact he has when game planning for us, right? Because he's essentially trying to come up with the play, like picking out the playbooks, or picking out the plays out of the playbook, handing them over to Arthur Smith and be like, hey, I think we'll use these plays in order to work with our opponent this week. Because I think it's mainly like Arthur Smith's playbook, especially for the offensive side of the ball. So it's like, yeah, he'll know it, but they work together as far as like creating the game plan offensively there. Now, it's tough because Arthur Smith is in charge of actually calling the plays.
Mm-hmm.
So there's obviously going to be some slack that I'm going to cut for Dave Ragone. But that being said, I've had moments where I was more afraid of what our offense might not do instead of our defense. You know, there's definitely been those games where it's like, yeah, I don't trust our offense in order to get past this team. Mm-hmm. And I didn't say that first. Or like I said that first before I even worried about the defense. And we were known for being an offensive team. So like that was the first change that we had to make internally, right? We had to make sure that, okay, whatever their game plan is, it's not necessarily going to be focused and predicated on passing the ball around, because we've already established many times in this stream alone, we don't have the people for it. Simply put, we ain't got the people to block or enough people to catch.
No, we don't. We don't.
We just got the dude that can throw it.
Well, we do. We have Kyle Pitts, but that dude is getting triple teamed every single time. He's getting the Julio treatment as a rookie, man. Like, they basically said, all right, what we did to Julio, we're going to do to Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts was like, I don't know how to get out of this because he's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He's not used to
being like as much as I wanted to compare him to Darren Waller at least started out as a wide receiver first before he made the transition to become a tight end. Right. So Waller already understood how to run his routes. And also, that was after a couple of years from being like underneath in the practice squad for the Ravens.
Also, Waller has an offensive line blocking for him too. Like they got Trent Brown Jr., I think.
Yeah. They also have first-round draft pick Alex Leatherwood.
No, he's doing horrible. Don't bring him up. He's doing absolute horrible. He's doing more horrible than Jalen Mayfield, guys. So at least we made a safe pick with Jalen Mayfield, hopefully.
Well, I mean, he wasn't even projected to be a first-rounder either, too. So
who?
Leatherwood.
Leatherwood? Yeah, but they made him out to be a first rounder. He's playing like a 7-rounder right now.
Well, that's John Gruden. Like, and we already understand his position already, which is
John Gruden
disappeared from the surface of the earth.
He can't draft. John Gruden couldn't draft to save his life.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, growing up, I was watching, you know, like the NFL Total Access, and I would watch like the Path of the Draft episodes where they would, you know, have like Mike Mayock talk.
Yeah, he would know. He would just analyze the rookies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like I felt like Mike Mayock was doing a great job there. But then I understood that, yeah, there's other aspects of being a general manager that he's more so still the personality first than the actual position.
Nah, John Gruden is just that's the reason why he's gone.
Well, obviously among other things as well.
But yeah,
that's what you see on the internet, folks.
Right. So back to Ragoon though. I say Ragoon been drawing up plays because he's like I said, he was the pass specialist for the Bears, right? So that means he was there drawing up the pass plays. And I'm looking at the pass plays that he's drawing up here. The one where we could have got in the fourth on the goal line with the 49ers where Tayshae Sharp was just like wide open. I'm not saying that Tayshae Sharp would have caught that though. I'm just saying he was wide open. Could have caught it, but he was like Matt Ryan was sacked, and we couldn't. You just had to settle for a field goal, I think. But what was I saying? The Ragoon's passing plays, like I see it happening. I see like it can work, but he just doesn't have the players for it. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't. Gage can't get separation. Sharp can't get separation. Oz, he's small as fuck. Frank Darby,
Gage can. I mean, he's shown that more recently.
Yeah, he's showing more confident. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, okay, I gotta play like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta play like a number.
But he's been the only one to really step up.
Yeah, and where has Christian Blake been? Freak has he been?
Sitting right next to Frank Darby.
Yeah, just being cheerleaders on the bench, I guess, man. Like, what the
just
heck?
Existing on the roster.
Oh my god,
they just exist. I'd throw Tajay Sharp in there too. I feel like if they had the option to just put 4 offensive weapons instead of 5, they would probably do that more likely.
Yeah,
because I feel like they're just dragging the 5th person on the field and be like, yeah, I don't know what to do with you. So just go off in the corner and just wave to the fans.
You just see
whatever
up in the corner. But I think Smith is the one drawing up the run plays, and Ragoon is the one drawing up the pass plays. So I don't know. They just probably meet in the middle and say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And you know what I'm saying. But I would give Ragoon a C- though, still, because I didn't see anything special this year. I haven't seen any big plays. I haven't seen anything that stood out that said, "Oh, Ragoon knows what he's doing." I'll give him a C-. I'll give him a C- or a D, to be honest. D or C- because. To be honest, it's like I'm not seeing anything special like with this offense right now, and especially when you have Kyle Pitts. I understand, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know. I'm not surprised by Ragoon's plays at all. I don't know if it's Ragoon or if it's Smith. That's the thing. It's like, who do you blame, Smith or Ragoon? Because Smith is the one that's the offensive coach, but then Ragoon's the offensive coordinator. So what the fuck is Ragoon doing here then? But yeah, so I just give him a C- or a D, to be honest. I'm not seeing any plays, dude. I'm not seeing anything that goes, oh my gosh. Or if that's because of we don't have any players to do it, or it's just, you know what I'm saying. But it's just I'm not seeing anything. So I would give Ragoon a C- or a D.
I'm gonna be a little bit more harsh. I'm saying D-.
Oh shit! I thought you were
close to F.
Oh,
close to it.
Borderline.
Here's why.
Okay.
We can say everything that we want about the talent that we have.
Right.
We've said that so many different times throughout this entire season. That being said, I've looked at other offenses around the league that have had so many people from COVID and other health issues dwindle their offense down to just practice squad players and scabs everywhere, right?
Yeah.
We've seen that several times this week. Heck, literally this week.
I think that's what they're saying.
We've seen
the Texans.
Yeah, we've seen that. And what I've noticed is that those players over there can still get separation. Those players over there can still block. Those players over there still understand what they're doing. So when I take a look at that, I compare that up with what we're doing and how we're saying that, well, we can't get open because we have this, and this to work with. These teams have less than us because they have people that they're trying to sign from the street.
Right.
And trying to get into that game a few days early, and yet here they are still in close, meaningful games.
You had the Giants.
And yet they're still trying to get the job done. They're still in scoring position. I can't always give us that excuse now when it comes to him drawing up the plays and all that kind of stuff, because you have to compensate for what you lack. If you're not compensating in that room where you're being able to create the plays, understanding what your talents are and what isn't there, you can't be stubborn.
Right.
You can't be like, no, this is going to work, right? The 49ers, they were 2-5 or whatever because their coach was stubborn. They didn't want to change. And then once they realized that they needed to make the change and be more efficient, that's when they started having all those wins.
Right.
But when you can't compensate for what you lack, when you can't use the talent that you already have,
Right.
and we understand that Kyle Pitts is getting the Julio Jones treatment, so the heck is Mark Andrews. He is, like I said, the only person
you can't say
on the
that.
Ravens that's worth a darn.
No, because they got Bateman and
Rashad Bateman's been hurt for most of the year.
Yeah, but they still got other wide receivers. Plus,
Tyler Huntley, their practice squad player, is throwing to him, and he's still making plays. Still, like, I get that we can have special treatments and our own special excuses for why certain players aren't working and why they're not doing that well. But other teams have been able to compensate for that too. And I'm like, well, okay, well, what the heck is our problem?
They're not going to get rid of Ragoon though, and I'm not seeing anything in Ragoon. I think he's just a yes man. I don't know.
You know, all I see is that they were connection because of, like, they were friends together from way back when, I think, like in Washington or whatever. Like, they knew each other from a while back, or maybe they were both in Tennessee in like 2010 or something.
Ragoon
whatever the case may be.
Coach and Smith was the tight end coach, and they met in the closet and they started making out. No, but yeah, they were just good friends, and then Ragoon was the passing specialist for the Bears. I mean, I seen how the Bears were playing with the passing game there. I was like, damn, why isn't it?
They were both. He was 32nd in the league last year too.
Damn, he was. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
And we hired that guy as a passing specialist to be our offensive coordinator, just purely because dang near nepotism.
Yeah, we're stuck with him too.
We're stuck. That's why I'm being harsher on him. Like you said, you haven't seen the plays. I haven't seen any sort of creativity.
I don't see any wild plays at all. I'm seeing like regular ass Madden plays. Like,
you're creating packages for people, and then you don't even want to execute them. Like you want to
use Kyle Pitts. It's crazy. It's like you take him out every single time.
You've been too busy trying to convert Felipe Franks to be your third tight end. Like, where is
the play? Where is the play?
I want to see why you were hired.
Where are the plays, Ragoon?
It is week 16, and I'm still wondering why you're here.
God damn it, Ragoon. How you say your name? How you say his name? Ragoons?
Dave. I don't care about his last name. He's just Dave.
He's Dave. Dave.
Ugh. And that's why he's getting a D for Dave.
D for Dave. Man, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like I'm thinking about it. Like, you don't see any plays that stands out. Like, to be like, wow. Huh. Yeah, I'll give him a little D, a D for Dave.
I just don't see it in him, and I don't see that we're not trying to adapt.
No. Ragon, yeah. I hope.
Yeah.
I wish.
That's chocolate.
I wish, man, but I'm gonna just give Ragon his pass for this year because of what we're working with. But I still give him a D, just because, you know what I'm saying, he ain't really.
I mean, I guess if you want to think about it, the first year of Kyle Shanahan would have gotten like a D and F in my book too, in 2015, because Matt Ryan had like his worst year of his career.
Shanahan had this one play where he just had the tight end sweep. It worked though. What was his name? That one tight end. Who was that? He went to the Saints. He went to the Saints after that.
Jacob Tamme?
Huh?
Jacob Tamme?
No. It was his other tight end. Shanahan will always use him in the sweep. He would bring him over, and then like Matt Ryan would just dump it off to him at the goal line. It will always work every single time, but it's whatever. But yeah, Shanny was on. Yeah, look it up. I forgot his name. He was a big part of our offense at one point.
So it wasn't Levine Toilolo.
No.
It wasn't Jacob Tammy.
No.
It wasn't
It wasn't Hooper. It wasn't.
no, because he wasn't drafted then.
Hold on, let me look this up. I'm gonna look this up. But yeah, Shanny was like, he was okay. He wasn't bad. He was bad. Was he bad?
You want to look at Matt Ryan's numbers, then yeah.
Oh shit, we had Tony Moeki.
Tony Moyaki. That's what it was from
Tony
the Chiefs.
Milwaukee as their tight end at one point. That's crazy, huh? Wow.
Yeah, because he had that one-handed catch, and then we took a look at that and be like, "Hey, he's our starter."
Oh, Nick Williams. Was it Nick Williams?
Nick Williams was like he was the the former like punt returner and whatnot. He was a wide receiver, wore like number 15.
Oh wait, Nate Stupar.
Nathan Stupar? Wasn't he like a linebacker though?
Yeah, he was a linebacker. Maybe I was thinking about Nathan Stupar. Yeah, that motherfucker went to the Saints though. That fucker.
Yeah, so did Curtis Lofton.
Yeah, that fucker too. And he cried about it. He's like, "Yeah, the Falcons are making fun of us during stretching." Yeah, it was a story. But yeah, Ragoon definitely gets he definitely gets it though. We're gonna have to wait for Ragoon to grow. So he gets a D, and then all
right, last one, Dean Pease.
Man,
what's the grades you're submitting there?
My grade, I say B minus. Just because I'm gonna give him a C minus because he keeping Steven Means in the game, in the starting lineup, man. Like what the freak? But I give him a B minus because I think he has the scheme there. It's just the players aren't following his scheme. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not playing according to what he wants them to do because they think it's totally different because of what the scheme they were playing from Dan Quinn and stuff. So I would say B minus for Dean Pease.
And I do understand that he had to hold back a lot of stuff too.
Yeah,
because he threw a bunch of stuff at him.
He doesn't have Jarrell Casey or Jeffrey Simmons or freaking
Harold Landry and
or Dory
Logan
Jackson,
Ryan, Kevin Byard and safety.
Yeah. Oh, bro, like come on, like
Dean even Avery Williamson, the linebacker too.
Like they had a whole squad and
Jayon Brown, like you said earlier.
Yeah. So I say like he's not really exposing his whole entire playbook yet because he doesn't have enough to work with. He has to like create new shit for his old scheme just for these players to understand. They still don't understand, you know what I'm saying? So I give him a B minus.
Yeah, I think that when talking about Dean Pease, he's made it pretty clear in his press conferences that he's had to make a lot of adaptations. But he's also done what I don't think that most other coaches would do, and that's make every position learn every other position too. Mm-hmm. So he made his defensive line learn how to drop back in coverage. He made sure that his corners and whatever learn how to blitz.
Yeah, that's the reason why they cut
all that kind of stuff too. Like they made sure that everyone understood each other's assignments, so that when one person failed, they'd understand that, hey, this other person can't recover your mistake. So because of that, like the margin of error was something that they really had to understand early on. And then we realized that we weren't going to have Isaiah Oliver. But I've also seen some really great development from certain other people too, like AJ Tyrell. You know, last year he was, dare I say, terrible. He was obviously put in a bad spot, but
he said AJ Tyrell was terrible.
He was because he was just like Trayvon Diggs, but he didn't get the interceptions. Like he was just allowing all the yards. You know, like they kept targeting him, but then he learned his lesson the hard way, and now is under a scheme where they know how to use him. The last regime, they drafted him, but they didn't know how to use him. That's why he looked bad there. But now you bring in a defensive scheme and a system where it's tailored around certain players, and there you have your nucleus working there. Now, I haven't seen much of Grady Jarrett, and that kind of worries me to know that we have to have 3 other people in order to compensate Grady's
That's because Grady
performance.
Jarrett is probably getting triple teamed, and because they know
Right.
that's the only pass rusher we
And I
have.
see that a lot. But I've also seen where it would be really good for us to try to adapt our scheme in order to just have our matchups work. But we're not doing that, though. Like, AJ Tyrell is consistently found covering like the second and third best target on the field. And that's not good for us because, yeah, he might not be getting all the yards and all the credits and all the catches and all the targets and whatever, but that's only because of the mismatch that's clearly on the other side over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have like Deebo Samuel going up against Darren Hall and Fabian Moreau.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but that's always a mismatch, and I don't care that Brandon Ayuk over there is being covered by, or Juwan Jennings is being covered by AJ Terrell. Like, that's not the that's not the matchup that you want to see.
Yeah.
So if we can just learn how to change to what we're trying to stop with, I think we have to be in that mode. We have to be in the mode where, well, okay, we've learned all we can about our defensive scheme. We're not going to get any smarter in a matter of a few weeks in order to close out the season. Let's just deal, hey, talent versus talent. Can we stop these guys? And can they stop us if it works?
Mm-hmm.
We can't be in this position where, oh, well, we're just going to have our scheme and then they have to work around our scheme. Everyone's done that, though. Like, that's the problem. Trevor Lawrence, his last couple of games, he hasn't had a passing touchdown except when he faced us.
Yeah.
So it's like even some of these bad teams, they're still able to pick off a couple of plays.
That's
because we haven't been
it's because
adjusting.
It's like Williams, Fab.
And that's another thing too. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes our personnel will work in our favor towards one person, but then they still don't start. They still don't get the nod. Which is why we've seen literally anyone else do Stephen Mean's job better than he does. But guess who's still on the field? We've seen literally everyone else make sure that Tyler Davison does his best that he can off the field as much as possible.
Right.
But I still see him, and I'm still afraid. I keep seeing those matchups over there, like I said, in the secondary. And, as much as we want to say about, who was better between Eric Harris and Deron Harmon, it doesn't matter because they're both subpar.
They're both terrible. They're both terrible.
They're
both terrible. It's just that Harris is more terrible.
Wait until you see the film for San Francisco. Then you realize that at least Eric Harris tries to tackle.
I saw Eric Harris gave up a whole bunch of touchdowns to tight ends this year, and it's not pretty. So
I've also seen Eric Harris try to tackle.
Yeah, that too, and he also.
Deron Harmon can't be seen tackling.
Herman's not even seen on the field most of the time. He doesn't even know where he's at.
Exactly. So at least
I'm disappointed in Herman because I was hoping he'd turn out to be like, no, but he's not. I think his age is getting to him. He is 32.
He was supposed to be there for like mental support and learning the playbook just like everyone else and being that leader for Hawkins and Grant. And it's like I've seen some good things from Hawkins and Grant, but then they're not on the field. I've seen some good things from Michael Walker, but then he gets like 5 snaps.
I don't understand that either.
So I don't know what kind of grade to give Dean Pease. As much as I want to say, well, yeah, like his mind and whatever and his experience, that's like really crucial for us.
Maybe he's doing something to these young cats. He's like, He's like, I'm just gonna bench y'all. This is gonna make y'all more hungry or something, like make y'all more dedicated to this game. So when it comes next year, y'all are ready. Y'all can go out there and kill it. I don't know. Maybe it's like that. I don't hope so. I don't know. Like I don't. Damn, man.
But
You
and
should
then
just
the other
play
question is
Richie.
becomes
Play Richie Grant already, man. Play my guy
how.
Richie.
But then the next question becomes, how long is he going to be committed to the team?
Who? Dean
He's already
Pease?
retired twice.
I think Dean Pease is here until he gets another Super Bowl, and we're gonna get another Super Bowl. Trust me, we is. Dean Pease is a legendary coach, man. He's a defensive guru we needed.
But where is it seeing? But where is that showing for us though? Like I get
It's
that
it
he's
does
been the
it couldn't be
guru for
seen
New
because
England. He's been the
we
guru
have
for
Herman.
Baltimore. He's been the guru for Tennessee. And I
Yeah,
get
but
that these aren't his players.
you
But
see
we've
what he,
seen the good players be good, but then we've also seen them purposely be taken from the game.
I honestly just think the rookies are not ready. They're just not ready. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. They just don't know the
How
scheme yet.
bad can they be when Deron Harmon is still left there just looking at the field?
I didn't Hawkins give up a touchdown too,
At least he was seen doing something.
but this is just I just think that they just don't know. I don't know. I think they just don't know the scheme. Yeah, they
Well,
still
even
learning.
if that's the case, they're at least faster, more physical, and a bit more instinctive because
Yeah, but they're more selfish because they think that what's better for them is not better for the team. You know what I'm saying? Just like how Michael Walker went out for that sack and it cost us a touchdown.
I mean that's a problem too. But I'd rather risk that than
Mm,
being too conservative, and then we're still giving up plays
I
because we're
think
trying to think that we're too
we are
smart.
super conservative, but we only be aggressive on offense on 4th and 1 on the
Yeah, like
run.
we have the bend but don't break mentality because he doesn't care about giving up the yards so long as he doesn't give up the points. Well, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but we're not good when it comes to our efficiency in stopping people in the red zone.
Because we don't got a nose tackle
So long
and a pass
term,
rush. We don't got a pass rush, and then we have Deion Jones out there trying to figure out who to tackle. And then Foy's out there already getting to the tackle, but he already let the play happen, just like Harris does. And then Fab is out there getting burnt every single time. Avery Williams, is it Avery Williams that's playing the slot
yeah.
right now? He's
Or
not
right now it's
doing
Darren Hall.
he's not doing they're not doing well. I mean, they're giving up a lot in the tight ends and the slots, especially when Kittle was killing us. So I'd say
I mean,
like
he does that to everyone, but
so what grade would you give Dean Pease then?
okay,
You know
I'm
what?
going to say this by saying that the long term answer is still going to be better than the short term answer. Like long term, I'm still going to give him maximum a B minus.
Okay. But right now you're gonna give him a C minus, a D. You're gonna give him a D. Just give him a D. Just give him that D. Give him
I'll
red
give him the
D,
sympathy vote and say C minus.
C minus, just because he's a legendary coach.
But I mean that history doesn't apply to the present
Hey man,
unless you.
he's still a defensive mind. He's still one of them gurus. So
I'd rather like I'd rather have his mind than most of these other defensive coordinators. But
maybe Deion Jones is the reason why our
that's one of
defense.
the few things that we can be proud of though when having him is that well he had a mind and he's got a resume. That's the only thing that's stopping me from giving him a grade any lower.
See,
If he didn't have the mind or resume, I'd say get rid of him too.
oh shit.
Because we've still been worried about the players. You know, you just went on the rant saying that our defensive line is inconsistent, our secondary is inconsistent, our linebackers can't tackle, our defensive line can't get off of any blocks. We don't have the proper pieces. But heck, everyone else in the NFL can say the same story. We're not special. As a matter of fact, we're special in the opposite direction because we still have most of our roster intact. How much better can we be, though?
This year has been a headache.
I currently have one, too.
Yeah, this year has been so bad. 6-8 does not sound good anymore, but it sounds better than last year.
It sounds nice.
But yeah, Ragoon. Come on, man. Like, do better. Like, just draw plays, man. Like, you ain't gotta do nothing but draw plays for Arthur Smith, and Arthur Smith will, you know what I'm saying, call it for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like Dean Pease. I don't know. I want to give Dean Pease his peas, his greens, all that, bro. But he just doesn't have the players. But when you only have Harris and Harmon and Fab fucking it up for you, it's making you look bad. It makes you look bad so bad, man. Especially when you have no pass rush. Pass rush is everything, and man, like, you need a pass rush to get to the quarterback, because then you see what happens to Matt Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put up points. You know what I'm saying? So
you saw what happened to Brady, too, against the Saints.
yeah. But then he had Tristan Wirfs. He still had Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah, their whole offensive line was intact.
Yeah, it's still intact. Yeah.
New Orleans blitzed them 4 times.
Yeah, but New Orleans got Cam Jordan, Payne Turner. They have Demaro Davis, though.
Marcus Davenport and David Onyemata.
They can't do shit against the Falcons, though. Fuck the Aints. I don't give a fuck with the Aints. Fuck the Aints. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Dean Pease, if you do give him his peas, does he
now,
do anything with it?
Let's say that we have this conversation before this game. Right? Let's say that we have this conversation in between the weeks of after the win against Carolina, been prepping ourselves before the 49ers game. Like, does this game give us this overreaction, or is this just like a microcosm of everything that we've seen so far?
I think it's an overreaction.
So you're saying it's not as bad as we think it is, or it's not as good as we think it is?
No, I don't think it's as good as we think it is.
Well, I mean, overreacting can happen in the negative section too. So, is it not as bad as we think it is? Because that's also an overreaction.
Dang, because it's like we haven't even been playing any good teams too, to be honest, though.
But when we have, we've just been blown out.
Yeah, but the games we won against they're not good teams though. 6 games. Damn, we won 6 games? Jets.
It no longer feels like that anymore.
Like, damn, we won 6 games? We lost 8. Oh my god.
Like, I look at our record and I'm like, dude, like, we're almost like, if we'd won this game, we'd have the same record as like this, and this team.
We would literally be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, because we would have had like some sort of tiebreaker over Minnesota, who currently has a 7 seed.
We're not trading Grady Jarrett, guys. I don't know why you guys are saying that. Grady Jarrett is the centerpiece of the defense. He will always be a Falcon. He is the son of Jesse Tuggles. Come on now, guys.
Yeah, we need to keep someone.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of all these other
if anything, we
guys
need to
that we look forward to.
Jones. I think we need to get rid of Deion Jones. His service is done. I think he's riddled with injuries. His age is getting to him. He's too expensive now. We could find somebody younger, faster, and better.
which I already feel like we've already kind of have.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
But
see Walker. But
a depth is another issue too for us.
yeah, we don't have
So
depth. We don't have depth at all. That's the same with the Hawks. They don't got depth at all too. But we because we don't have any cap space. We're literally playing with like undrafted rookies, veterans that are okay, and like just first round bus. You know what I'm saying? It's
and
just
because of COVID hitting, that dropped the salary cap like
right,
almost what $40 million,
right.
and then it put everyone in this tight little pocket where hey, $180 or $180 million is the minimum, but then 182 million is the maximum that you can spend.
And the whole entire Julio
But then like
debacle.
what it was a couple years ago, it was like 220 or something. So I'm like, yeah, that obviously has a dip in what you can get as far as talent and penny pinching your
Right.
roster.
I'm sure we could have saw a lot of more talents on this roster. We would have had it, but we'll see what Terry does. We'll see what
Like
Terry.
I'm still kind of saying that had COVID not existed right now, we would probably be a lot better team because we're financially being held back a ton.
Nah, we still got paid those dead caps money.
Well, that's true, but we'd have more of a gap in order to do that, to take care of that. It wouldn't be as egregious as it is right now when you look at the percentage.
Damn you, Desmond Trufant.
Well, it wasn't even him that's the problem. It's just the combination of everyone else. If anyone,
Damn you, Jamon Brown.
it's Julio Jones because he's at the top of the
Julio
list.
too, man. Brown, I think Brown. If I see Brown, I'm gonna punch him in the face. I'm just joking. You stole money and you can't block. Come on. I don't know who's
Julio
worse,
did the same
Hennessy or
thing, and
Brown.
he can't
Who's
even
worse,
stay on the field because of his hamstring.
Hennessy or Brown or Carpenter? Who would you pick?
Um, give me a cliff, and I'll just jump off of it because I don't want to decide.
It's like, who would you want to protect? Who would you want you to protect? Oh, no, hell no. No, that's a horrible line. Oh, my God. I can't believe we had that. Thomas Dimitrov. You fucked us so bad, man. You fucked us so bad. He said, man, I'm going to go on a bike ride, and I'm going to let y'all deal with this. I still remember that Hard Knocks episode when he's like, yeah, I like to go on bike rides and draft teams. God damn it. But yeah. That's what we have so far for our staff. And I'm excited to see what's in store for the next game here on Sunday against the Lions.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about time for us to wrap it up because it is getting really late.
Sure. Yes, sir. That was a good discussion. I mean, we gave our grades up. I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
There's still quite a people tuning in. So, any final thoughts you have to say? Any final plugs that you want to take care of?
I would just say, man, just trust Matt Ryan, guys. Like, we see what Matt Ryan can do. He's not fallen at all. I still see the same Matt Ryan, like, you know what I'm saying, from 2008. He just needs a line to hold him up, guys. And he's trying. He wants to win as much as y'all want to win. Matt Ryan will take us back to the promised land. We will all have a great time again, and we will watch the Falcons beat the living crap out of anybody in the Super Bowl in the future. Matt Ryan. But with Ragoon though, I don't know about Ragoon. So I'm still iffy on this staff. So, but yeah, the Sunday game. I hope that you guys all turn out to go to watch that game, man. Be more Falcon fans than the Lions fans out there, y'all. For real. I better not see a flood of blue on my screen. I better see all that red. Guys, go to the game. We need the fans out. We need to beat the Lions. So that's my final thought. I hope we do beat the Lions. I feel like we will. We expose bad teams, so we're gonna get them.
Yeah. One last thing. The reason as to why this guy's even on the show is because we had the conversation in Discord. So.
Oh. You gotta. What do you gotta do to get on the Discord?
Well, maybe you can answer your own question.
maybe we have to. Maybe you can send a link or something, and join the Discord, guys, and come join our family here, and we definitely chop it up a lot about the Falcons, and have pretty good discussion as well.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to be able to try to hop on and give your own 2 cents on here on the show, in order to kind of filter out some of the people that may or may not have properly asked for that, I think Discord is a good way to mediate a lot of things. So
yeah, especially on Sunday. But I need to stop Discording while watching the game on Sunday because it'd be a delay and shit. They be giving it away, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I can't pay attention to Discord when the game's happening because I always feel like someone is just ahead of me.
Yeah, that's
in
what
terms
happens.
of watch time.
That's what happens, and it's like, oh,
I'm immediately spoiled.
Yeah, and
then some people like they're just really fast. So they don't have the time and then to describe what's actually happening, and they'll just say like a name in all caps.
Right.
And you Pitts. I'm like, oh god, what did he do?
I'm like, oh my god, what happened? I'm like, oh dang, he caught the touchdown. I was like, oh. But yes, I want to see. This is who I want to see traded. I want to see McGrary traded. I want to see Fowler traded. I want to see Hennessy traded. I want to see Hayden Hurst traded. I want to see Deion Jones traded. And I want to see yeah, that's it. That's about it. That's all I want to see traded. Calvin really can go too, though. I'm not gonna lie.
And then yeah, just cut certain other people that you haven't mentioned, like Stephen Means, Tyler Davison.
Yes, Tyler Davison needs to go. Eric Harris needs to go. Dermot Herman needs to go.
Herman especially.
Fab, you need to go. Fab, you're out of here, bro. I'm sorry, but you're just not it, man. Like that's not working for us. But I'm saying McGarry needs to go too. McGarry needs to go. He needs to go. He's so bad, man. Like I can't do it with that guy. But
all right, well,
yeah, let's but yeah, guys, go Falcons. We're gonna win Sunday. It's gonna be 7-8. Wait, are we 7-8 right now? No, 6-8.
No, we're at 6-8. Should be 7-8.
Yeah, we're gonna be 7-8, guys. Have hope, guys. It's the Lions, Mom. Y'all, come on now. It's the Lions.
Well, any other week, I feel like we could say that, but they just got good, and I don't know how.
They not just got good. They just got lucky.
That is not lucky. What happened in that game was not luck.
Kyler Murray just couldn't see over his offensive lineman that day. That's just it.
That's every single game.
Yeah. He didn't wear his special cleats this time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he didn't have his bowl of Wheaties in the morning, and that's what prevented him from not scoring.
He didn't grow that extra height over those Wheaties.
But what really concerns me is that they were able to close out and not even get them back in the game.
Yeah,
like that, they kept it a 3-score game.
Yeah, their defense. You know who's on that defense?
Amari Okwara. You have
Harris.
You have Trey Flowers that's still kind of there.
Charles Harris,
he definitely messed stuff up. You have Jalen Reeves-Maben.
I just hope our receivers are able to get separation and our
So
blocking. If McGarry let Charles Harris get a sack on us, I swear I will hunt down McGarry and say, bro, just leave the team already. Just go. I'm done with you, bro. I don't even know why we traded for you. We traded for you in the first rounder. Like, why? Like, come on now. That's just the dumbest move ever.
I don't know what happened there. Kind of frozen on us for a second.
But yes, we will win the Sunday game.
Yeah,
This will be
I
the
can only
first.
assume that's not going to be anything nice.
But yeah.
Yeah, but that's about it.
We will win, guys. We'll win. This will be the first win right here. Let's
Yeah,
go,
really
guys.
sorry I wasn't able to really get into everyone's comments because there was a lot of them. But we just got to talking. I'm still not really used to having a co-host. I'm usually by myself for these Wednesday nights and trying to make it work.
I'm like the Stephen A. Smith. No, I'm just joking. I want to be his Max. I'm the Max.
Hey,
Callum.
we're still better than ESPN though. That's for sure.
We're way better than ESPN. If you guys want your Falcons news, you know what I'm saying? Check us out right here, AFN. We'll give it to you. Right now, there's no news. I don't think there's nothing updated right now. Still same old, same old.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on. I mean, like Sean Williams, he got promoted to the team.
He's a safety, right? Staying out from Georgia.
Yep. But yeah. And we're gonna close it off with that. Guys, have a good night. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Happy holidays. There you go.
All right, guys. Take care.